ToJoy's mission is to bring happiness to the world. How do you bring happiness from business?
Yeah, I think that's everybody likes to be happy, and as a company, our ultimate goal is really to make sure that business becomes successful, and then business owners and the customers serving the business, served by the business will be happy. That's the goal, and I think that speaks to everyone's desire to be happy and to live happily.
ToJoy is a global company, but mainly a business incubator and accelerator with some 7,000 staff, and you were set up in 91, one of the first movers and shakers. So tell us more about your business model and your focus areas.
Okay, great. Yes, we are a large business accelerator, but we are sort of industry agnostic. We have more than 700,000 entrepreneurs, that work with us. Mostly these entrepreneurs are based in China, but some of them are international entrepreneurs as well. They have a huge diversity of industry expertise. And the companies, from every background, work with us. We've accelerated small companies going regional and the large companies that had stalled their growth and wanted more. So for industries, we've done it all, from education to consumer goods to natural resources, to business services. So if a company has a good model and is hungry to expand and become successful, our platform has the capital and the expertise to make it happen. Just to think of our platform like a super highway that can take any driver there we want to go. Bring your high performance car, your business model, to our superhighway, and then they set you up, with what you need. Exactly the right partners to drive it on the local roads. They know our business service teams to be mechanics and plenty of gas. We have continuous capitals available as you grow. So for selecting a model to accelerate, we are looking for models that can handle this speed and owners who are hungry to go somewhere exciting in this big global market. For growing with ToJoy in China, there's kind of three main things. You need to be ready. Certainly the company is a good fit that market for the markets across China. And certainly, the company has a key differentiator that separates it from the competition and shows it can scale. And of course, lastly, the company and its management team are hungry for growth.
Where do you get your investments from? How do you do the capital raising? Where do you get all the investors?
So if you have a successful business model and the business model is scalable, then that's kind of the targets we like to bring them onto our platform. And as I mentioned earlier, ToJoy has a 700,000 entrepreneurs membership on our platform. And these entrepreneurs are based across China, and they have their own businesses. They have the business that may need upgrading. And certainly with the new economy, they are all eager to find a new business model to run through. So we connect the small but successful business model with the 700,000 entrepreneurs on our platform. And then these entrepreneurs would stand up, say, okay, I like this business. I want to run it with my own people, with my capital, with my connection in my local markets. So they work together. Then a small business can quickly and easily find hundreds of Chinese entrepreneurs across China to work together with. So the funding and everything actually comes from these Chinese entrepreneurs.
Right.
Then you can turn a little elephant into a big business across China.
So Mr. Ge, you just talked about you're the superhighway for virtually every industry, but no one knows every industry. Mm-hmm. How do you ensure that you are maximizing the values of virtually every industry that are available out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So we have a 1,000 team people in China and across the world to look into the advanced sort of business, promising business in the world and in China. And then we select some of them, these leading players or these promising businesses. And then certainly we bring them onto our platform, and through our localization, providing support and resource. So these kind of business can be scalable and expandable in China. Then we bring it onto our platform and promote to our entrepreneurs through our online and offline networks. So each and every week, actually, we do a large scale online sort of project promotion. And every project promotion will be attended by hundreds, thousands of Chinese entrepreneurs who are eager to find interesting projects to work with.
That is like the biggest pitching competition in the world if you have so many participants. But what are some of the selection criteria? What catches your eye when you get a pitch from a young startup business?
Yes, I think certainly we like to have this kind of business that is welcomed and popular in the Chinese markets, right? In China right now, there are so many, new consumers entering into the markets, and they are likely those people who are young, but who are extremely curious about, new business, new consumer goods, so on and so forth. So they will be very interested in different business offerings, different commodities, and a different sort of experience. So we bring those onto our platform, and then we help them to scale up by working with the entrepreneurs across the country. Our competitive strength actually is on the platform side. For a business to find partners to work with, and we have, hundreds and thousands of Chinese entrepreneurs who would easily, work together with the project side.
Obviously successful, but if you were to look at the pattern of ToJoy's business model, what would be the the closest, the global comparable to ToJoy?
Yeah, we look at some of the companies like Plug and Play, in Silicon Valley, and certainly we are also looking at those investment firms, those VC firms. The differentiation between us and Plug and Play and those VC firms is that, first we look at those already successful businesses, and they are eager to expand their market penetration. They want to go to China. So those are the great targets for us to work with. And the second, our strength, as I said a couple of times, is that we have a strong platform where we have, hundreds and thousands of Chinese entrepreneurs on the platform that are ready and eager to work with the project owner. And they have the capital, they have people, they have management experience, they have properties to run this kind of business. So we connect them together.
This is amazing. It must be such a fulfilling mission for you as well to really help lead these startups and become such, big companies and players in the market, and also really tap into your vast network. So what has been like the ingredient for success? What has been driving you into this direction? Was it, to have a purpose and have an impact in your professional life?
Yes, as you mentioned, yes, I'm sort of, an international person. I worked with Intel, with Apple, and with NVIDIA, those international businesses. But I always had this inspiration that, one day I want to work with hundreds and thousands of Chinese entrepreneurs to help them to find the right projects. And I also want to support those startups to help them to, startups, to become successful. They are always challenged by, lack of resources, lack of management skills. lack of the market experience. And by connecting the experienced entrepreneurs who are rich in resources and those innovators and project owners who are lack of, the funds and market knowledge, then bring them together. That's a platform I'm kind of fascinated to work on. And ToJoy is the right one for me. It is the biggest one in China and probably the biggest in the world. And over the last a year and a half, since I joined ToJoy, it has been such a fulfilling experience. Last year we did 229 projects, 199 from China and 30 projects from the companies outside China. And those projects are now, all experiencing phenomenal growth, given the fact that now they are partnering with the Chinese entrepreneurs. So our business model is a little bit unique, but it's very interesting. It has the potential, and I'm always saying that, we are now in a great sharing economy, and we have to share resources, share business models, share capitals, and connect them all together and make this world a much better place.
So, Mr. Ge, you are basically connecting the, I should say, products rich foreign markets into the market-rich Chinese consumer space. So we are connecting the end-to-end, but I assume that another, genius entrepreneur somewhere on the horizon in China might be saying, well, I can do the same thing, right? So what would be your barrier to entry?
Yeah, that is a very good question. I think on the project side, yes, indeed, if you have some capital, you can always form and find, build a team, and the team can go off and find the projects. But they have a challenge. They have a big challenge. Once they have the project, it's hard for them to find the partners in China. And for ToJoy, over the last 29 years, we build up this major platform. It's like the big data. And on this platform, you have now close to 1 million Chinese entrepreneurs, who are rich in capital resources and who are eager to, sort of upgrade their business. And then you promote this kind of project to them. And that makes us very unique and different, from the other players. And then in terms of promotion, we build up an all capable online platform. We can do online promotion 24 hours a day, and we do a major symposium each and every week, clustering the businesses, clustering the entrepreneurs, and then make them, do the matchmaking. So that has been extremely effective. But for other competitors, so far, I haven't seen any major players in the world who have this large platform, have gathered so many entrepreneurs on one single platform.
Another big challenge is, of course, the geopolitical situation with the US-China trade and technology war and so on. The recent news about TikTok and WeChat, Trump banning those platforms, and a lot of repercussions coming from that as well. What kind of impact will this have on your business, and also connecting the dots between East and West when it comes to capital, fundraising and working together with Silicon Valley and other international companies?
Yes, I think there are always challenges, in today's changing world. There's this pandemic, and certainly the U.S.-China relationship, now experiencing a very tough time. But for us, I think we are always, focusing on business, and we want to basically bring values, offer values on our platform. So as for those other restrictions, it's just another situation, we have to adapt to. We've always prioritized, smooth cooperation between our global teams, and we integrate, these tools onto our platform. And for us, bringing value to our customers, to our consumers, is our top priority. And certainly, for these challenges, and we have to adapt to.
I see, Mr. Ge, on your social media that you go all around the world. You meet presidents, prime ministers. You talk to very, very important people all over the world. What do you say to them?
Yeah, I always tell them that I'm a business person, and I want to basically connect the entrepreneurship and connect the business opportunities. And what I'm doing here is basically to provide support for business to operate without borders. That's our kind of vision of the company, and certainly bring happiness onto the table. And those global political leaders and the business leaders always liked my style. I'm a very pragmatic people and a problem solver. And I tell them ToJoy's business model, and they all got extremely excited. That's why they all offered strong support to build the platform up even bigger and further, so that benefit the platform can benefit the people and the business people around the world.
Do you have a role model, someone like Jack Ma or Elon Musk?
Yeah, I like Jack Ma. I always enjoyed sort of the services, from Taobao, Alibaba, and I think for ToJoy, we are actually doing something similar. Alibaba is connecting commodity with consumers, and ToJoy is connecting the business owners with entrepreneurs. And those business owners produce consumer products, and the entrepreneurs help the market and help serving the consumers. So I feel we are at one level up, doing similar business, but under different sectors.
Chinese consumer market has increasingly become more and more sophisticated, as you mentioned, but in terms of the consumer upgrade today, because China is the world's factory, essentially everything that we people consume all around the world, except in particular, perhaps some very limited areas, China is the place that things are made. That what can foreign companies even bring to the table today that can even satisfy a marginal demand on top of what China already has?
Yes, I think to be competitive in this market, you have to have some unique strengths to compete with, whether this is business models, whether this is the quality of the product, or this unique experience where, a Chinese consumer will be fascinated about. I think, in order to be competitive on the Chinese market, one of those unique strengths must be displayed. And I think, for ToJoy, we are exactly out there, looking and sourcing for this kind of interesting projects and bring them onto the Chinese markets. And on the other hand, we are also, bringing the Chinese unique sort of business models, unique experience to offshore markets as well. And I think, yeah, as you mentioned, the market is big, but it's competitive, and we certainly would like to see unique projects come into China.
Mr. Ge, so what's next for ToJoy?
Yeah, ToJoy, yes, we are very, very committed to this business model, and we are seeing phenomenal growth. And my sort of vision is to expand our presence, not only within China, but across the world as well. So since last year, we started our business in Europe, and certainly in Latin America as well. The year before I joined ToJoy, we set up an office in New York as well already. So we will be extremely interested in working with international project owners, a project that is unique and that is special and that is good for the Chinese consumers. I would be extremely interested in working with entrepreneurs outside China as well. And certainly I will be extremely interested in working with trade organizations, chambers of commerce, those partners where they have a lot of members that we can connect with. And certainly within China, we are upgrading our business models. We are offering more and more online experiences to our customers. So I would encourage people to look at the ToJoy and certainly, experience our online sort of app, ToJoy Cloud to see, what we have to offer on our cloud.
I suppose the next step for China's consumer upgrade is really not only consumption in products, but rather consumption in services, because things as simple as, online doctor checkups with American hospitals, American doctors, things like that. And so where is ToJoy positioned in perhaps capturing the next wave of the greatest consumer trend in China in bringing the best of global services into China?
Precisely. I think, we are more interested in services actually than products, because, China now quite rich in terms of commodity offerings. But in terms of experience, as I mentioned many times, and services, China actually is not that strong when you compare with the rest of the, developed world. So we are interested in bringing those service-focused business into China. And in order to expand the service across China, you need the support from the local entrepreneurs. Then a little service can become bigger. Just to use one example, on our platform, we have a medical service company who are actually, offering imaging services, and through the online SaaS, the imaging can be digitalized and then sent to people's cell phones. And this kind of services, you need hospitals adopt acceptance. And to do that, you have to work with, then Chinese entrepreneurs can kick in and play and help them to penetrate this kind of device and the services into hundreds and thousands of hospitals. And then, through this kind of working model, one service can easily scale up across the country.
Mr. Ge, you just talked about Jack Ma. Say, for example, if Tmall one day or Amazon somehow get synchronized all across the world, it's then somebody say from outside of China, they could purchase just by a click of a button on the internet, right? But essentially the ToJoy model and what you try to tell the world is that consumer business at the end of the day, it's still business. I don't essentially, the computer doesn't solve 100% of all consumption needs, or does it?
I don't think a computer can solve everything, and it has to be O2O, so online and offline, sort of service, right? You get the information, you get the sort of knowledge through online experience, and then you have to go to the physical stores, the local stores, to experience
You
that.
believe that will never disappear. In other words, if Jack Ma takes everything in the consumer world, then there would be no business left for ToJoy.
Yeah, I think the future is O2O. Even for ToJoy, for Jack Ma, he still needs people to deliver his goods, and he still needs logistical services. And the logistical services will be based in different locations across the country. You cannot do everything, through online. And, even for there are a lot of competitors, as you can see, like JD.com and, those other players, they are actually building up a network of offline experience centers, delivering goods, inviting people to their experience centers to get the real sense of their products and services.